Everybody loves fashion. I love fashion. I am a director. You're never too old, or young, or fabulous when you begin. Welcome to Shared Life Experiences. I'm Raymond Villanueva. Yan ang maganda sa ating mga Pilipino. Halo-halo tayo. Yan ang Pinoy. Makulay ang mundo ng Pilipino. At madrama pa. Join me as we engage everyone. This is Absolutely Fabulous by Raymond. Reportage. This segment is my favorite because it's my interest. And like I mentioned a while ago, we're back here, the heritage town of Taal. And with me is my host who has been gracious enough to let us see this beautiful greenhouse by the first governor of Batangas, Vicente Noble. I give you Rogie Reyes. Hi, Rog!
Hi, Raymond. Nice to see you again.
I know all these years
Yes.
I'm back in Taal. You know, I have to make kwento with everyone. When I first came here to Taal, of course, with Lito Perez, then all of a sudden, Rogie just came back from the States, diba? But I will not preempt everybody. Let's make first kwento. Tell me about Rogie Reyes.
Well, I was invited by Lito Perez
Yeah.
here in Taal. And then I stayed in his place.
Yes.
When he was going back to Manila, I decided to stay back. And then I stayed already for straight 3 weeks.
Okay.
Until I was invited to teach in one of the schools here.
Here, right?
Yes.
But prior to that, you came from the States,
Yes,
diba? You
yes.
lived in the States for
Yes,
quite
I
some
was
time.
teaching there, and I was
Okay.
also taking some subjects from the Catholic University of Washington, but I was not able to finish my doctorate there. And then, because my mom was thinking of coming back for good, I went ahead so that I could fix our family compound. And then, so I was here, and then I was teaching already.
Yes.
And then I decided to relocate here
In
in
Taal.
Yes.
And this beautiful home, this historical home, what made you fall in love with this place?
Well, this was offered to me by Nathan De Leon, the director, because he knows the real owner of this place.
Okay.
We call it greenhouse because of the plants, because of the greeneries, like that.
Okay.
And then since no one was actually occupying, it was the cousin of Maureen Sendejas who was staying here, but she passed away. So we took over.
Okay.
And then this is sort of like a place where I could store my things, my
Right,
books, like
right.
that.
But the
paintings.
architecture is still here. You
Yes,
did not
it is
really
still.
change everything.
No, it did not. It
The
did not.
muebles and
Yes,
everything
it's
around.
still the
is here.
original. Still the
Wow.
original.
How big is this property?
About 2,000 square meters.
Fantastic. Oh my goodness.
It's so, I cannot say that it's really difficult to maintain, but
Right.
you know, somehow may tauhan can attend to it.
Also. Now, why did you fall in love with Taal?
Well, number one, because of history.
Okay.
I never knew that it's really considered as a heritage town. That's why it's called Taal Heritage
Because you were in the
Town.
States.
Yes, I was in the States.
Right.
And of course, when you hear Taal, what comes in your mind is the volcano.
I know. A lot of people.
Yes, and then no one knew that there is such as a heritage town. And then the other thing is, we have the Asia's biggest basilica,
Oh,
which is the
wow.
Basilica of Saint Martin de Tours.
Yeah.
No one knows that it was the biggest in Asia,
In Asia.
to the point that big cathedrals that we have entered,
Yeah.
you can actually put the church inside the basilica.
Fantastic. I
It
didn't know
is.
that. I didn't
It
know
is.
that also.
And then I got involved already with restoration projects here, like that. So I was invited by the government also to help out. And then it was Lito and I, together with architect Robert Arambolo,
Yes.
who was then the director of the Tourist Administration, and then of course Tony Alcacid, the brother of Augie.
Yes. How is Tony pala? I should see
Tony
him.
is still part of the board of
Yes.
their rural bank here. He comes here every week, I think on Wednesdays.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He comes over here because of, besides the bank, he checks out their ancestral house.
Kasi when I first came here, that was more than 10 years ago, I remember Taal as a little sleepy,
Yes.
as a little far from everything.
It's true.
Diba? I remember Lito Perez a while ago said it takes what, 4 or 5 hours just to come here. Now, in less than 2 hours you're
In
here.
less than 2 hours
Diba?
already here. Because
so
they were
there's been an improvement.
Yes, there's a big
Oo.
improvement.
Okay.
Even with the roads here, even with the road signs,
Yes.
even the lights, the city lights like that. So I mean the
Big
road lights, yes.
improvement.
There's so much improvement
Okay.
already.
But what can you, diba you came from the States,
Yes.
what can you tell everybody about Taal?
Well, it's a place that you have to visit because a lot of people, they really don't know about Taal. Because as what I've said, what comes in their mind is
The volcano.
The volcano.
Right.
But from here, you can actually visit also the volcano. Not the same site as like when you go to Tagaytay.
Okay.
Because from Tagaytay, it's up here
Yes,
and then you
yes.
just see that.
And ako, I remember that, everybody. When I first came here to Tenjot, I used to take that long cut.
Yes.
Diba?
Yes.
Going here. Now, Taal is a heritage town.
It's a
diba?
heritage
It's
town.
a heritage town.
There are a lot of, there's so much history about Taal.
Why do you call it heritage town? You have to explain to our audience what makes it a heritage town.
Well, because for one, like for instance, the government museums that we have here. One is Marcela Agoncillo, who was the one who made the flag.
The Philippine flag.
Yes, the Philippine flag. And then she had daughters who are all spinsters, and they are known for the academe.
Yes.
Because one of the daughter became a pianist at the same time a professor also at the College of the Holy Spirit.
So Agoncillos are really from here.
Yes,
from
Agoncillos
Taal.
are here, Alcacids are here.
Right.
I
I remember 10 years ago, there was a very, it's like a museum, the Villa Vicencio. Is it still here?
At the wedding gift house and
Yes,
also
I remember that.
they're cousins, and then they opened their houses and turned into a museum.
The museum. You know, it's 10 years since I've been here. So, parang naninibago talaga. But you know, one thing I noticed with this place, it's so lighted. Why is it so lighted already?
Because
So much improvement.
yes, there's so much
Oo.
improvement. I think for one, with the present mayor, he realized that there should be light for the safety of people. Okay, that's
Sorry,
one.
I had to mention that it's really
Yes.
lighted.
And then number two, besides for the safety of the people, there were so many accidents going on in the area,
Yes.
in the highway, because there was no light. So he added light. So that's one of the things that made the
Sorry, yan na rin napansin ko talaga yung ilaw.
that's one thing that made Taal have the improvement for the town.
How about the homes? Who takes care of
Okay.
the homes?
Well, the homes, some of them were converted into a bed and breakfast.
Okay.
The house of the Ilagans, which is owned by Inumirable, Manny Inumirable,
Yes.
he turned it into a camera museum. It's the only camera museum also in Asia. Because there was no more place for him in his house to store his collections.
Yes.
So he made his place here into a camera museum, which is also well visited by tourists,
Correct.
local and foreign tourists.
And another place of interest is Villa Tortuga.
Villa Tortuga, because that's the one that is by Lito Perez. It's one of the oldest houses here in Taal.
When you say old, how old is old? Like this particular house?
This one is about 1912.
1912. Wow.
But the way we see it architecturally, this portion is 1912. But
Okay.
the other part where you
Yes.
had your interview is even earlier. So
Kasi
it's
we
about-
walked around the house a while ago. So what is under? I remember there's also a silo.
There's a silo.
Right.
The silong is where they store the sack of rice,
Yes,
the palais, and then some other goods that they get it from the farm.
For the younger generation, di ba? Most of this is Philippine architecture based on a certain era, di ba?
Yes.
Now, I think that era would have been the Commonwealth.
Commonwealth, yes.
So, but will this be still considered a bahay na bato of the Spanish time?
Yes. It can still be considered as a bahay na bato.
Oo.
And then because architectural influence by the Spaniards too.
Also.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about the capiz. This is the one behind you.
Well,
you have to see this. I love that.
The capiz shell windows,
Yes.
it's very common to the old houses, in the
Okay.
old houses, because it provides also light.
Mm-mm.
At the same time, once you close it, there's still light.
Light, right,
Yes.
right.
And they're locally made, of
Oo.
course.
Why is Philippine architecture, because we're basing it on this greenhouse, di ba? We cannot replicate this type of architecture at this time, or is it too expensive?
To maintain it, of course, it will be
Or to rebuild it or build one
You can
similar to
do
that?
it, yes, but it's not as authentic as the original
Okay.
houses
Oo.
of the owners like that. But you can do.
Kasi, you can just imagine the maintenance. Why? How do you maintain your house?
Well,
anak?
that's another
what I have to
another
talk,
thing.
diba?
Okay,
Oo.
I think some of the old houses that are still here, they're well maintained because somebody lives or somebody's staying.
Right.
You must remember that any place or any house, small or big, once the people, the owners, okay, they leave
Yes.
and then they leave that empty, it becomes old and rotten.
Oh no!
Same thing whether you're in Manila.
Oo.
If you just leave it like that, wala, mapapabayaan. So,
Right.
nagiging luma,
Oo.
tapos
But-
nabubulok.
You know, we were talking about it a while ago off camera. But the maintenance pala, and if you see the wood, the hardwood is still here, the ceiling is still here. How did all these houses here in Taal last this long?
Well, because most of the owners, they are landed, as in
Okay.
they own big properties.
Yes.
Okay, so they make use of
Their
old
trees?
The trees, yes, that's true.
Okay, okay.
And most of the floorings that you would see in the old
Yes.
houses here, there were no mechanical equipment that for them to use this
Right.
as a lumber
Correct.
to cut the wood. So these are all made by hand. In fact, the house of the Villavicencios,
Yes.
you will not see nails.
Yes,
To put
I
the
remember that.
woods together,
Oo.
even the stairs,
Correct.
they use wooden pegs
Yeah.
to put them.
And, you know, I noticed also the authenticity. Kasi if I see all these old pictures, I always see these palmeras in this old picture. I see these muebles here. I see everything. Bak talagang it's reenacted. If you call it reenacted. But everything is still there. Di ba? Kung ano yung interior during that time, you adhere to that.
Yun pa rin. Tsaka, of course, the plants are always
Di ba these palmeras are all over the
Yes.
place?
the plants are always placed inside the indoor plants,
Yes.
of course, no?
Oo.
Because besides it adds beauty, it adds life.
Oh,
You take out the plants, you would notice that it's so bare.
Oo.
That there's no
Kasi
life.
I
like that.
see a lot of old pictures, old movies. They always had the same thing. They had the cortina.
Even
they
in
had
the
this.
casillas, they
Oo.
would put plants on top of
Yes, oo.
what's
And the
this, tank of the toilet.
planters,
Yes,
di
the
ba?
planters, yes.
Also for that.
Yes.
I know. So your life has totally changed, di ba?
It did. In fact,
Diba?
I'm enjoying
From
it
coming
more.
America, then going to Taal, live in Manila,
And
then
enjoying it
Taal.
more here in the Philippines.
Oh, nice
Believe me, yes.
naman.
In fact, one of the reasons why I decided to come back home for good, because you know, I'm a musician. I'm a professor at the College of St. Benilde and at the Conservatory of Music of Central Escolar University. I've noticed that Philippine music is not given so much attention anymore.
no.
You would ask some of the younger generations, if you ask them to sing very popular folk
Yes.
songs, they cannot even complete the folk song. But if you ask them to sing a different song, they would completely sing a song by Justin Bieber.
Oh.
So that is sad.
Right,
And then
right.
if you would check the YouTube now, you would notice that our folk songs are being sung by foreign choirs
Oh.
or being performed
Oh.
by foreign artists.
Okay.
That's why I think there was really a need for me to come back home for good, but to continue the
You know,
tradition of
I
the
think,
Philippine
as
music.
we say, well, reportage is my interest, and my
Yes.
interest is talking to you, the
Thank you.
tour that we did in Taal, and now I just realized that yes, there should be a force or an
Yes.
individual
Uh-huh.
to push all of this.
That's
these
why
agendas.
Me and Lito and the rest of our friends are
Yeah.
here. Nathan is already also here. They
Yes.
have a place here. They're renting also a place. I think that's one, we cannot say movement, but it's one way for us to keep it.
Well,
if the
darling.
owners cannot maintain it, at least they would have it rented out, and we're one of those.
Thank you, Roger. Well said.
You're most welcome.
Thank
I hope
you.
there
And
will
thank
be another
you.
one.
Yes, after maybe 10 years. No, we will have to come back. Thank you, Rogie. Reportage
You're most welcome.
is my interest. And like I said, coming up from 10 years. Also, I'd like to thank again my designer, Kenneth Averio, for this outfit I did. My jacket is by Don Cristobal and given by Angelo de los Reyes, who was my guest last week. When we come back, let's meet the person, the individual in You're Never Too Old or Young for New Beginnings.